Welcome back. You may be wondering just how a problem that is metabolic in nature can be compensated for by a totally different system, the respiratory system. But this isn't something that's new. You've seen this before. For example, low or high blood pressure can be compensated for by the urinary system, and the integumentary system can compensate for excess heat generated by muscle activity. This is simply another example of that phenomenon, where one system is compensating for an imbalance in another system. Let's take a closer look at how this works and see if we can give your understanding a boost.
Before we start, let's do a quick review of the pH scale. Recall that the pH is simply a way to represent the number of hydrogen ions in a solution. As our pH decreases, the number of hydrogen ions increases, and the solution becomes more acidic. Conversely, as our pH increases, the number of hydrogen ions decreases, and the solution becomes less acidic or more basic. Now let's examine a blood sample. Notice that we have two sources of hydrogen ions, one from metabolic acids, such as lactic acid, uric acid, and ketones, and another from carbonic acid. Notice here that we show hydrogen ions from the metabolic acids as white, and those from carbonic acid as blue. But keep in mind that this is just to make it easier for you to see them. All hydrogen ions from all sources are identical. A hydrogen ion is a hydrogen ion, no matter its source. In the case of metabolic acidosis, we have excess hydrogen ions that have accumulated in the body fluids, lowering their pH. These hydrogen ions come from metabolic sources, which you can see here. Our metabolic acidosis tube has accumulated a lot of white hydrogen ions. When we say metabolic sources, we mean any source that isn't related to the lungs or ventilation. So it could be related to diabetes, the kidneys, the gastrointestinal tract, drugs that are metabolic acids, and more. So the question becomes then, how can the lungs compensate if they aren't involved in the problem in the first place? Well, remember that we just said that a hydrogen ion is a hydrogen ion, no matter its source. Basically, the body doesn't care where these extra hydrogen ions came from. All it cares about is removing them and restoring the pH of the body fluids to normal levels. And a quick way to remove hydrogen ions is via hyperventilation and blowing off carbon dioxide. Recall the reversible reaction in which a hydrogen ion combines with a bicarbonate ion to form carbonic acid, which then becomes molecules of carbon dioxide and water with the help of the enzyme carbonic anhydrase. Due to this reaction, when we remove carbon dioxide from the body, we also, in effect, lower the number of hydrogen ions. Notice that as the rate of ventilation increases, we lose blue hydrogen ions. Remember that the color of the hydrogen ion dots doesn't matter. They're all hydrogen ions. All that matters is that their total number is decreasing. As their number decreases, the pH of the body fluids increases to a more normal value, and the respiratory system helps to compensate for the metabolic acidosis.